Hello everyone. I'm going to do something different today. This is a tour of my treasure box. I'm going to show you everything that I have in this box. It's a box that I keep my very special, unique, and different little bits of stuff. I'm a collector. I like to collect things. I collect collections. It's ridiculous. This is a box that has a glass cover on it so that I can see some of the stuff. It is actually 11 inches by 8 inches and it's 3 stories. It's almost 7 inches high. So this is where I put, special things that I've had from childhood, new things that I come across. It's always changing. So this is going to take quite a while. There's a lot of stuff in here, and I want to describe everything in detail so you can see it all. And I'm just going to start over here. I would like to eventually put things on the bottoms of this to lighten it up just a little bit, like photographs or mini postcards or maybe collages. I'm not sure, but I haven't done that yet. So the first thing is something that I've had for about 30 years. I call it my fairy ball. Doesn't that sound cool? It is silver. It is discolored. I've never cleaned it. It used to be completely silver, but it's one of my precious, precious things. I really love this thing. And I keep it in this nest. I have a little picture frame with my favorite face in it. This is a rock egg, and I've got a couple of them in different places. I found a few of these in Kenya when I was there. They are different kinds of rock. I like egg shapes, and so sometimes when I see them, I will get them. Let me put these back so that I remember where they go. This was a really cool watch face that I had, but I was storing it in a little container and I put a rubber band on it. The rubber band overheated and now it's got this rubber bit on it and I can't get it off without taking off the paint. So I'm really bummed because I really would like to scan that or something for collage bits, but it's kind of ruined. So that is that compartment. The next compartment, you know those little places, those tourist places that have the little plastic animals? I love those. So this one is a little frog. Don't remember where I got it. And I also love those tourist spots that have something at the register. This one is a little fish. It has the word giggle on it. They're usually at the register and they say for luck or something. I enjoy those a lot. Here's an old key. A plastic dragon. This is a bead, but I really liked how intricate it was. It's really heavy too. And an old package of needles. I believe these were my grandmother's. Never used. So those are special for me. And this is something that I did quite a few years ago. I call this a lock of Rapunzel's hair. It is actually about 8 feet long. I took some embroidery floss and I braided this 8-foot long lock of stuff, and I put it in here. It's one of those handmade treasures. Okay, let's put all that stuff back. Over here we've got, this is an agate bowl. It is really made of rock. Agates are rocks that you can actually see sunlight through. They're clear if they're really really older. This one's a moss agate, so you can actually see the moss inside the rock. So I love that. And the things that are in the bowl are a little marble. This is one of those little trinkets for luck. It's a starfish for luck. And it says enjoy on the bottom. A little seashell. A mercury dime. A little tiny dice. And this is actually I think they call it scarab. I got this one in Egypt. I actually bought it in Egypt. It has Egyptian writing on it, so it's kind of authentic. It's not very old, but you know. I have this rock, egg, and some coins. Some of my favorite coins ever. This one is an Italian coin. It was my favorite one when I was in Italy. I love this thing. I love the coins that have holes in them. I don't remember what this one is. Don't remember. Little tiny thing. Just some interesting coins. This is a circus coin of some sort. And I have no idea where I got it or what it's from or any of those things. And here's a little wooden box that opens up for a Monopoly thimble. Monopoly thimble. The thimble was my favorite, and so I kept one. I always use the thimble. Over here we've got a shell that I found at Honeymoon Island in Florida. It's a shark eye shell. I love the colors, even though it was, I don't like them absolutely perfect, but that one was really cool. And this is little tiny shells. Let's see if I can actually show you. I was looking for a piece of paper. Let's see if I can put it on this piece of paper so you can see it. These little shells I got face down on the beach in Miami and collected those. It took me hours. I got quite a few of them. This is a little dish. It's a silver dish that I got from a friend quite a while ago. A loose screw. A fossil, an elephant, one of those good luck charm elephants, and a pair of dice. I love dice. There's going to be more dice in here. Over here we've got, this is an enamel container that I got in England. It's from a famous place, and I think it's Hamilton something enamels, but it's just a little egg-shaped that you can open, and inside I have 2 little miniature Monopoly pieces, 2 little teacups, they're plastic, and 3 blind mice. They're children's toys, but I kind of liked them. I thought they were kind of cool. So they are in there. This is my favorite die. It was broken. I found it this way. I don't know how it broke. I've never seen a broken die. I've taken all kinds of pictures of it. I really like it. It's one of my treasures. Some little buttons that I found in my grandmother's stuff. They're little authentic doll buttons, and they are mother of pearl. They're tiny. Well, they're tiny. And this little box I did buy at a Miami Art Festival. I did not make it. And inside are some crystals, a compass, a little tiny compass, and that is a full deck of cards. Another thing that I like are cards. They are authentic. It's a real deck of cards. There are all of the cards are here. I keep them in order so I can prove that they're all there. They are really cool. Really, really, really cool. So I keep those in there. And then this is a jar of, or a bottle of termite wings. Yes, it is real termite wings. I was swarmed by termites in one of the places that I lived many years ago, and I woke up to a sea of wings all over the place. It was like an iridescent snow inside the house. It was really something to see. And I did sit there and collected all the wings and put them in the jar so that I could save them. I know it's a little weird. These are marbles, spheres from different kinds of rocks. I love rocks. I have an entire rock collection. It is one of the first things I ever collected, my rock collection. I started it when I was 10. I actually inherited it from someone else, and I still have it. It's in a jar in my room. So that's what those are. This is a little basket, and inside is a marble of the world. A lucky little owl. See, here's the little paper that goes with those lucky little whatevers. So this is the lucky little owl. A little bottle filled with some small shells. I do enjoy shells, and I will sit there for hours and pick out shells from the sand. Here is a little box or a little jar bottle of watch parts. Time in a bottle is what I call it. Time in a bottle. And then this little fella I made probably 40 years ago. I made the pattern for him, and he is a jointed teddy bear. I did make bears for quite a few years, Christmas ornaments and bears and stuff, and I wanted to make a tiny little one, and so that is the bear that I made. I only made one. He took me a long time to make. Oops, I was supposed to put that card in the bottom. Okay, and in this one, it's a little piece of embroidery. I call it a fiddle. You know, it's not, it's a stuffed shape, and I embroidered all over it. It took me days and days and hours to do that. And I was planning on doing a bunch of different shapes, and I only ended up with one. This is a paper rose, a piece of glass that I found on the beach, and I thought that was really neat. A sand dollar. I did not find this. I bought it someplace. And a piece of rock. I'm not sure exactly what kind of rock that is. But I thought it was really unique and cool, so I kept that. All right, so that's the first tier. And this comes out for the second tier here. I like to put things in jars, little collections in jars. And so this collection it has little shells, little bells. There's a couple of pearls, a tiny key, some garnets, some unpolished garnets are in there. And I don't know why I do this, but I enjoy doing that, just putting a little collection in a jar. I've got more than one of these. I have a whole shelf full of little jars, and they've got all kinds of little collections in them. Let's see if I can just take out things. A couple more dice. I love dice. A rock fish. I don't remember what rock this was made of, but I liked the detail on it. A chain, a wooden chain. Of course, it's purple. And this guy is the first thing that I found when I went to Miami and was looking on the beach for stuff. I couldn't find any shells. And so I moved a bunch of seaweed, and this was in the seaweed. I thought that it was a regular shark tooth at the time, but now I have found out that this is actually a fossil. It's an old fossilized, it's a shark tooth from way back. And don't know how I managed to find that. I have never found any real shark's teeth on the beach. I always find shells, but that's the only shark tooth I have ever found. Here is a little wooden toy. Old-fashioned toy. An elephant, another lucky elephant. And this box needs its shell to be glued back onto it. It has inside a dried flower bud and a 4-leaf clover. I believe that 4-leaf clover came with the box. I have never found a 4-leaf clover. But those two are really delicate, so I keep those together so nothing happens to them. Here is a little container of tiny little sand dollars. I don't remember where I got those. I bought them somewhere, and I thought they were really, really cool. I don't see those very often. Here is a little kitty cat pin, and it's a butterfly wing. It's made of netting. I thought it was cool. It's not real, but it looks good in the thing. Here's another one of those fairy balls. This one was a necklace at one time. It doesn't sound as good as I lose it. It was a necklace. It came off the necklace, so I just kept it. And this is my favorite slinky ever. It's a little metal slinky. It used to be purple, but the color is pretty much gone now. I have taken many pictures of this, and so I keep it in here so I don't destroy it. I love slinkies. All right. Over here we've got another old key, a butterfly bit, some more unpolished garnets, a giraffe, and I got that in Kenya at the woodcarver's village. It's a bead, but I think he's cool. And this is a little fish charm. He moves. He moves. He's supposed to be a necklace. I want to say I got that in Italy, but I can't remember now. But I like the fish. Another rock egg. A sphere, a clear marble. This is a shell I found on the beach, and I thought it was really cool. I don't find these spiky ones very often. I crocheted a little nest, and I keep this lucky fish inside the nest. Here's a pin. It's a face. You know, I like the faces. He's metal. I'm not sure what kind of metal he is. I don't think he's silver. I think he's something else, but he's really heavy. Some Chinese coins. A fossilized shell. I probably bought this at a rock store somewhere. Love that. In this little kitty cat container, I have a gem that's seen better days. A little tiny die. A sticker of a kitty that changes, and this little miniature hourglass. that actually works. It actually works. And in this one, I have some sea glass that I found on the beach. These are pieces that I found, so they're not really polished. They're not really, really pretty, but they are close enough. How did I have those in there? I have to make sure they're flat enough to put the other side on. Okay, this one over here, this was a tin that my grandmother had. And inside is a collection of dice. Some of them are really old. This pair here are metal dice. These are really tiny. Some of these are really old. You can tell that they've been used a lot. They're not very, some of them are wood. You know, they're not even, maybe they're even handmade. But those are some of my special ones. In here is a little, it's one of those little paper boxes. And I painted it and stamped it. It's supposed to be a treasure that I made. It's got a little mirror in it. It's supposed to be the light from a blue moon. This little shell is probably my oldest something. I did get this when I was about 8 or 9 years old. I was in a shell store in Oregon, and the owner thought that I was so well behaved that I deserved a something. So I got my pick of any shell in the whole place for free, and that's the one that I picked. Another little key, another starfish charm, a butterfly clip, another plastic, this one's a manatee. I did go visit the manatees in the springs here in Florida, and I got that one there. And this is my little box of little tiny little bits. I've got shells, I've got some little crystals, I've got some watch bits, some clock watch hands, some little screws. And so I keep them in these little vials here because they're so small, I'm afraid I'm going to lose them. So, and I need to decorate the box. If I'm going to keep them in the box, I need to decorate the box. Over here we've got a Cracker Jack prize. My grandmother had this. So it's an old one. It used to move. Well, I guess it still does move. Here is an old, I don't know what they call these. I think they're fun. This was an old one, I think. And I don't come across these very often, so I just kept it. And here is another treasure that I made. It is a matchbox that I covered and painted. And inside are dragon scales. I spent some hours making these out of plastic. I used the heat tool to bend them. I painted them so that they were perfect. So it's my collection of dragon scales. I made a treasure box, a little miniature treasure box for my daughter. And I think she still has it. But I wanted things in there for her. She got Rapunzel's hair and some dragon scales and, you know, some other little stuff. So I do make treasures as well. Here's another clear crystal ball, some heart-shaped keys, a pair of heart-shaped keys, a fossil. I do like the fossils. A prism. I think this is actually one of those things that you can, it magnifies, but I just like the shape of it. Another butterfly, a lucky turtle, this was a little pin that I bought in Scotland. This little jar, I have no idea what's inside. It's been a while since I've visited these collections. Oh, some little ladybug beads. I thought those were really cool. No, you can't see them. They're painted really neat. Another little jar of buttons. These are also my grandmother's. They're not quite as small as the other ones. She used to keep all kinds of little bits and bobs in these medicine containers. And so I think this one is exactly how she left it, with these little doll buttons in it. So I left them that way. A little jar with a Cheshire Cat face on it. Ganesh. She's just it's heavy. It's metal. I like elephants, so it's really dark, so you can't see. Can't get the light to shine on it right. But it is Ganesh. And another watch face that I did get in Germany. It's got a porcelain part to it. I'm not sure exactly what it was from. Watch me break it. But it's really cool. I plan on scanning this so I can print it out and use it in collage and stuff. So it's nice to know where it is. I think I was missing it for a bit. And here's another little container. And inside is a couple of keys, a mermaid charm, and a shell. And that is the second tier of stuff. The other tier is actually a drawer that pulls out. And I have some photographs of my grandmother. She was about 14 or 15 here. This is my great-grandfather and his family. So my great-great-grandmother is here, and she's surrounded by most of her family. And this is my grandmother's family when she was about 10, and she's right there. She is surrounded by most of her family. I think there are about 7 or 8 people that aren't in the family there, that are in the family, but they aren't in the picture. She is surrounded by her parents, her aunts and uncles, her brothers and sisters, her cousins. Just about every person in her family is in that photograph. This is one of my recent finds. I loved, when I was sick, I would get the cherry flavored secrets. Loved them. I don't even think they have them anymore. And it made being sick worth being sick a little bit. And inside I've got some very old marbles. I've lost my marbles. Well, I keep them right where I know where they are, so they're still lost, but... And here is a tintype. A real tintype. I have no idea who the person is, but... and I have no idea how old it is, but it is an authentic tintype. Another prism. This container has Mona Lisa. Mona Lisa's in there. I made these with alcohol inks on metal. I did these quite a few years ago. They were a mess to make. I didn't enjoy it. And so I just use them for this kind of thing. And this was in my grandmother's stuff. I think it's a little Cracker Jack charm. One of the old ones, but I don't know for sure. And this tin has another bit of small little cards. This one is not a full deck. Even though they're larger, it's not the full deck, but they're still pretty cool. And then a fish on the inside to keep them in. Here is another one, another Mona Lisa. And in here are some shark's teeth and a fossil. And I bought those. I have no idea where, but those are all store-bought. I guess I was disappointed that I'd never found any shark teeth on the beach, so I went ahead and bought one. Bought some. Here is, it's a mint tin. You know I love Alice, so I had to get it. And inside are a bunch of my inchies. Some of these are my photographs. Some of them are, this is a ticket from England. Mona Lisa. Some collages. Most of them are my photographs printed out really, really small and then made into an inchie. I want that one on top. So all of those are my inchies. Oh, and here is a picture of the shell that I showed you earlier. It's not the same coloring, but it's the same shell. And these are actually photograph paper, so they're pretty stiff. They're gonna hold up quite well. A piece of Japanese book page on the bottom. And this one has, this one has a full set of tarot, miniature tarot cards in it. It's a Coca-Cola tin. And these little vials here are my kitty cat whiskers. This one is, this one is Moondoodle. He is 17 years old. And so that is all the whiskers I've collected from him so far. This one is Pipsy's. She is 10 years old, so I don't have a ton from her yet. And these are Dribbles. This is little Milk Dribbles whiskers. I only had him for a couple of years, so I don't have very many of his whiskers. But I keep these in here in the drawer so that I can pull them out really easy when I find a whisker, pop them in, and have them saved. Here is a knot from a tree branch or something, and I thought it was really cool. It looks like a nest to me, and I thought one day I'll find something that I can put inside to make it look like a nest. This is a pincushion that somebody made for me with intricate applique on it. I really thought that was cool. Here's a replica, an old playing card. It's a replica. It's not the original, but I like playing cards, so I thought that was cool. Oh, I'm gonna sneeze. In this little Coca-Cola tin, I've got store-bought glass, a little fish, and some beads. That's kind of cool. I have some, what do they call these? I got these years and years ago. I got them free with my Flickr account. So these are my photographs. Moo cards, I think is what they called them. So I printed them out and then didn't know what to do with them, so they're in here. Another collection of cards, man. This one, they're small, but they're all attached. They're really thick, and so I kind of left them the way they were because I thought it was kind of interesting. So I left them in the bag so that they don't get destroyed. There's a jack on one side. A little container of feathers. Little tiny feathers. I don't know why I pick those up when I see them. So they stay in there. And then this last thing, these are hand knit booties. My grandmother hand knit these for one of my dolls when I was young. You know what? These are actually the oldest thing in this box. Now that I'm thinking about it, these were done, I had to have been 7 or 8 when she did those. Hand knit little booties. I don't have the doll anymore, but I have the booties. And that is my treasure box. Hopefully, you know, I'm going to go through these again. I want to put some stuff on the bottoms of the drawers and containers and stuff. I'll add to it, take some stuff away if I need room. But it is a place, you know, that I enjoy visiting every once in a while. And I thought that I would just take you all along on the tour so that you can see and so that you can start your own treasure box. You can make treasures. They're not that hard to do. In fact, I'll show you in another video, I'll show you some little bottles and jars and containers that I've done that are made up treasures, you know, kind of like the Rapunzel's lock of hair and the dragon scales, just little jars filled with, you know, time in a bottle, watch parts or whatever. So they're really easy to do on your own. So I hope you enjoyed the tour. Sorry it took so long. Thanks for watching.